Hello everyone, welcome to the market outlook for the week. Gaurang Shah here from Geojit Financial Services. And the day and the week has begun on a very strong and a positive note as I speak to you. Uh, to give you some levels, Sensex up about 450 odd points at 60,250. Nifty is up 135 points, 17,970, and the Bank Nifty up 210 points at 40,620. Very close to those levels where we have seen top heavy feeling or profit booking coming in even earlier times when we were at these levels. So I think it's very important and crucial to see whether we are able to see a crossover of these crucial levels and whether we are able to maintain the momentum uh, by the end of the day or throughout the week, since we've seen some resistance at these levels earlier. On the energy and uh, currency front, rupee is weak, 79.70 against the dollar. And on the energy basket, we are lower, $91.50 per barrel on Brent and $85.40 a barrel as far as the NYMEX is concerned. Some of the news flows from the global front, which is actually very encouraging for the emerging market, is the news flow of financial stroke loan assistance being given by International Monetary Fund to some of the vulnerable nations which were in dire straits. Uh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Zambia, Egypt, Chile. These nations have managed to reach a conclusive agreement with the International Monetary Fund to provide them with the necessary financial aid or assistance that is required. And I think with these developments, what has happened is that this has actually signaled a peak of pessimism as far as the emerging market, uh, you know, uh, situation was concerned. And I think if these nations, along with some other nations, are able to conclusively reach an agreement in terms of a bailout package from the International Monetary Fund, then I think there should be a lot of stability that should be returning to this part of the world, especially the emerging market. So this is one particular positive news flow. The second news flow is the on the domestic side. For the month of August, the inflows as far as the systematic investment plans are concerned by various mutual funds, SIP as we call it, is at again has again come in at a relatively higher level. So I think this is a very encouraging sign. In terms of the commentary given or the views given by us last week on Wednesday, we did mention that the markets did start with a lower level, but there was recovery, and we had advised to look at moving in your savings into capital markets in form of investment into strong and well managed companies. And I think the entire week post that saw some momentum, and as we return to trade this week Monday morning, we've seen that momentum again gaining some strength. But as I mentioned earlier, I think it is very prudent to see whether we are able to sustain at these levels and whether we are able to take off these levels. I think we are very close in terms of percentage points. If you ask me, we are very close to the all-time highs that we've seen of 62,200 on the Sensex and 18,600 on the Nifty some time back. So possibly, I think if the news flows are supportive on the global and local front, then I think we should be moving closer to those higher level, and more important to see whether we are able to take off those highs. On the market front, I was feeling a little bit skeptical this morning when we got back to trade. But as the day passed by, as we approached ahead in the first half of the session, I think the momentum speaks for itself. And what we mentioned earlier, that smart investors are moving in their savings into equity market at every given opportunity on corrections. And we also mentioned some levels last week on Wednesday, 17,300, 400 on the lower side, 17,600 and 800, 17,800 on the higher side to be a top heavy feeling. But since we are trading very close to 18,000 levels, 17,970 odd levels, I think those resistance levels have been taken off, but remains to be seen whether decisively we are able to cross over 60,500 or 61,000 on the Sensex and 18,200 on the Nifty. I think that remains to be a little bit of challenge as of now. But given the flows and the sentiments, I think it would be sooner rather than later. Like all times, we've been mentioning about investment ideas, strategies, and how disciplined you should be in terms of your investments into equity market. Not to rush in, but go in systematically and use all dips and in parts increase your allocation towards equity market. And we've been suggesting two investment ideas since our couple of recent interaction. I have two more investment ideas on the fundamental side long term. One is from the specialty stroke agrochemical side, comes in from a very strong corporate house in India, Tata Chemicals. And I think this China plus one policy that has been adopted by the world and the globe should give tremendous amount of potential for some of the well-established names in the specialty stroke agrochemicals sector in India. So Tata Chemicals is the first investment idea from a long-term point of view. And the second one is from the logistics side. With the kind of activity that we are seeing and the pickup of momentum, especially with the recovery from the lockdown to unlock and now into the new normal, we believe there is one company in the logistics sector that could do well, and this sector is not spoken about much. So the company is Transport Corporation of India, which is one of the largest fleet owners and network operators in terms of logistic business in India. We believe there is a tremendous amount of potential, and as the economic growth rate and economic activities pick up in India, our sense is that logistics sector, well-established companies with strong fleet and network will do extremely well. And in that sense, I think Transport Corporation of India qualifies to be one of the investment ideas from the logistic sector. Mind you, both these are, as I mentioned, fundamentally advised companies. So needless to say, you need to have longest time horizon. These are not short-term, mid-term investment ideas. And I think the longer you stay, the better it is. Market always rewards long-term investors in terms of return or capital or profits on your capital that you invested into equity markets. So these are two investment ideas, Tata Chemicals and Transport Corporation of India. Thank you very much for your patience hearing, and I'll see you again next week. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.